I first met Lilah in October of 1979 at my birth. And Lilah is, in case there's any question, 6 years older than I am. And when I turned 30 this year, my grandma sent me this email that said, I guess on the day I was born, and she said to Lilah, you know, what do you want more than anything in the whole world? And Lilah said, a sister. So Lilah was always much nicer of a sister to me than I was to her. And I think that was very much evident at my birth. But ever since, Lilah was my first word. And my grandma also tells me how I used to just scream it out, and wherever I was, she would come running. And she did that for me when I was 2 and needed someone to play with me. She did it when I was 29 and needed someone to pay my internet bill. But she has always very much come running in every situation and been that big sister to me. So, interestingly, when I was the age when I could say one word, which was Lilah, apparently when Lilah was the same age, she could say 50 words, and my dad used to carry them around in his pocket and show all of his friends how many words this little precocious child of his could say. So it was pretty evident from a very early age that Lilah and I, or at least Lilah, was a little bit different. Another time when we could really tell that Lilah was a little precocious, a little beyond her years, was her medical school graduation. And Mandy, I remember you saying it, and I think this was when I met you, and it was right after the graduation. And you said, oh, welcome to the Lilah Morris show. Because at Lilah's med school graduation, she was the keynote speaker as the president of her medical school. And I think there were 3 awards given, or 4 awards given, and Lilah got 3 of them. I mean, it was kind of a joke by the end. And I was sitting next to my mother, and my mom and I just looked at each other and we started laughing. And first, my mom said 2 things to me. One, she goes, it's okay, you're the fun one. And 2, she goes, oh my God, who is ever going to marry her? So thus enter James. And I first met James at Delaney's on Chestnut Street in San Francisco. Lovely establishment for those of you who know San Francisco. And, you know, Lilah had just started dating him, and she said, well, you'll be able to find him because he's pretty tall. And so, you know, we found James, and I remember Lilah and I are out on the corner at one point, and she says to me, and she grabs me, they hadn't been together for that long. She goes, I really think this is the one. And I think I've said that about everyone I've dated for longer than 2 weeks. But Lilah never said that. So I was like, oh, I should probably pay attention to this guy. So anyways, as soon as you meet James, you realize that he is her equal in both height and intellect. But if you spend any time with them, you realize that they are absolutely perfect for each other. And I think about in the last 24 hours, how they've probably recited The Princess Bride 30 times, and every time think the other is the funniest person in the entire world. But, you know, I remember years ago, my sister saying to me, you know, I don't want to settle, and I always want to find someone. The most important thing to me is I want to find someone who they always think that I'm smarter than they are, and I always think they're smarter than I am. And she's like, I want to meet my match, and I want to meet my equal. And I know that, you know, if my mother were here today, she would know that you have met your match and you have met your equal. James, we love you, and not just because you are perfect for Lilah, but because you have embraced all of us in our family and become a part of our family. And we love you, and we thank you as Jews for adding some inches to the gene pool. And most of all, you know, and my dad said it well, but to all of you who are here and have been part of our lives forever, for all of the women of Stockton who have, and all of our aunts and uncles and family, and all of you who have been a part of our family for so long, it's so wonderful to celebrate this with all of you. To my dad, who has overcome a lot in the last few weeks, and we knew he'd still be okay to dance, and also so much to Robin, who is such a wonderful part of our family, and we are so thankful for her, and we love you. So anyways, Mazel Tov, I love you both, and I'm so happy and honored to be celebrating with you guys today.